Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video as we are just a few days away, 48 hours or so away from the Steam Winter Sale. A lot of the publishers already kicking off their deals early. This happens every year, but we've already got an absolutely awesome historic low game deal that I gotta highlight. Some other historic low game deals and just some great deals all around, man. There's going to be a lot of good stuff coming with the Steam Winter Sale, so let's highlight some of that stuff. First of all, the historic low game deal, Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown, is 92% off for $4.79, a new low price point for Ace Combat 7, and what a phenomenal deal this is. I could easily see when the winter sale comes around that they'll just pivot Ace Combat 7 into the deep discount section, because it is 92% off and definitely fits that criteria of being a deep discount and is an awesome game, and the timing is perfect given that Ace Combat 8 Wings of Thief just got revealed at the Game Awards, and what we've seen out of that game thus far looks great. Ace Combat 7 is a worthwhile time as well. It's a game that definitely makes you feel like a badass. It's a game that I wouldn't get into it too much for the narrative or anything like that, but if you want just a spectacle in combat, I think Ace Combat 7 is going to offer you exactly that. Not super lengthy, but a worthwhile game. The soundtrack is phenomenal as well. I would say that's probably the most underrated aspect of Ace Combat. Like, the soundtrack is great, and you know, I've never been somebody that's getting into the multiplayer of Ace Combat, but that single-player campaign, while fairly short, is very much worthwhile to go through. 20,000 reviews, 88% positive, 78 on Metacritic, which I actually think is fairly underrated, but yeah, definitely check that out. A part of the Bandai Namco publisher sale, and they've got a lot of good deals running right now, but 92% off for $4.79, great deal there. They do have the Top Gun Maverick Ultimate Edition, that's $20, and honestly, I don't think that DLC is very much something you need. Can you get it? Sure, but 20 bucks is, you know, it's a lot more expensive than $4.79. That's all I'm saying, you know? $4.79 is a perfectly fine pickup and definitely worthwhile there. Another game that we know is going to get a continuation coming out of the Game Awards is Mega Man. Mega Man 11 at a historic low price point, 85% off for $4.49. This is the last, like, new mainline Mega Man title that was released all the way back in 2018, and it feels like 2018 isn't that long ago, but by the time Dual Override does come out, it'll be 9 years in between mainline Mega Man games. Like, we can't be having that. Like, come on now. Mega Man should be a franchise that is getting consistent game titles, and it's not like one of those franchises that I would imagine is an absolute arduous undertaking in terms of getting a new game out. And it's one of the most iconic franchises ever. I'm not saying we need a brand new Mega Man title every year, but more Mega Man is a good thing. And Mega Man 11 at $4.49, definitely a worthwhile pickup there. Very much of the classic Mega Man style, which, to be honest, I am not crazy about. I am much more into Mega Man X. Did I enjoy the older Mega Man games? Sure, I liked Mega Man 7, I liked Mega Man 8, but the older Mega Man games, a little bit before my time. And I did play Powered Up on the PSP, but yeah, I'm an X kid. Like, I grew up with Mega Man X. X4 was literally the first console game I ever played, and yeah, X is just embedded into my memory and one of my favorite games growing up. So I would love to see a Mega Man X9. I don't know if they're gonna do that, but man, like, you already did Mega Man 11, now you're doing Dual Override. I just feel like Mega Man X is the franchise and the era of Mega Man that could definitely click with a newer audience. It's faster paced. I would say Mega Man himself looks cooler in Mega Man X, and you've got characters like Zero that you could look at, Axel, so on and so forth, but I digress. The OG Mega Mans are still cool, and Mega Man 11 here, $4.49, definitely worth a pickup there. Still Wakes the Deep is 75% off for $8.74. This is a historic low as well, so I wanted to mention this. 1975, disaster strikes the oil rig off the coast of Scotland. Navigate the collapsing rig to save your crew from an otherworldly horror on the edge of all logic and reality in a 3X BAFTA Game Awards winning narrative horror experience. Very positive reception on this one, 5,400 reviews, 89% positive, and again, received fairly well. If you're into horror games, something to check out there for $8.74. Then we do have Frostpunk, 90% off for $2.99. The Game of the Year edition is 85% off for $7.01. I would probably just get the Game of the Year edition with all the DLC, given the price point this is at. And I do know that Frostpunk 2 has come out, but Frostpunk 2 is still fairly pricey. Frostpunk 2 is eventually going to get DLC, so on and so forth. So why not pick up the first one at this price point, get it cheap? get the DLC. A very, very unique city builder, and I loved, and maybe saying love isn't the right word because it's pretty grim and dark, but the tone of this game and the emotional engagement I feel like you have for this game, and you'll have if you play it, that's where it really drew me in. It's a pretty dark game, and the decision making I think adds a lot to the game and surviving this very, very harsh climate that the game has. $2.99 for the base game, Game of the Year edition, again, 701 on that, good pickup there. Amnesia the Bunker, 85% off for $3.74. I've given quite a lot of mentions to Soma, and I mean, the Soma deal is fantastic at $1.49, but Amnesia the Bunker is also a really well-received horror game. Very positive reception on this one. 5,618 reviews, 94% positive. So it is just shy of the overwhelmingly positive threshold, but a really solid reception on this one as well. And the reviews came out pretty strong on this dynamic and ever-present monster that reacts to player actions, constant tension, tactile and physics-based interactions with the world, scavenge for resources and craft tools to aid you in your survival, multiple solutions to problem solving, and a non-linear open world as well. So $3.74 on that. We've got Undertale for $2.49. At this point, one of the more iconic RPGs that you can pick up, and it's a game that, yes, it has an old school aesthetic, and maybe from that standpoint, it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but I think thematically, it's an incredibly compelling game that tackles some pretty dark themes, and from a story standpoint, I think it's incredibly worthwhile to go through. 153,000 reviews and 96% positive and 92 on Metacritic. Deltarune also came out. Just a game that I highly, highly recommend. Deltarune is a parallel story to Undertale, by the way, and that's not on sale. It's still $25, but yeah, Undertale for $2.49. Great pickup there. And then lastly, I do want to highlight some deals that are a little bit more on the pricey side. We do have Guardians of the Galaxy. That's 85% off for $8.99. I mean, that's not super expensive, but more than a lot of the under $5 games that we're going over. But Guardians of the Galaxy is great. I think it's a super underrated game. Unfortunately, didn't do well enough to justify a sequel, but I thought Eidos Montreal knocked it out of the park with this one, and it was a really solid story-driven action title. And prior to playing Guardians of the Galaxy, I had no real care in the world for the Guardians. You know, I thought, cool cast of characters, but Guardians of the Galaxy is really what made me engage with the Guardians, and I like Star-Lord as a character. I thought Rocket was funny as all hell, and the rest of the cast is quite good as well. Soundtrack is great in this game as well. For $8.99, a great pickup there. And then we do have Resident Evil 4, the remake. It's at a historic low price point, 60% off for $15.99 for the base game. I would highly recommend to pick up the Gold Edition, which is 60% off for $19.99. That'll get you the Separate Ways expansion as well. And I think that's the route to go. Separate Ways isn't super lengthy, but, having that extra piece of content playing as Ada, why not? Like, for another $4, definitely worthwhile there. Especially because Separate Ways standalone is $9.99. So you're paying $4 here, which is definitely better. And RE4 is a goated video game. It is in the pantheon of the greatest video games of all time, in my opinion. I think the game is outstanding, and the remake is outstanding, and you get one of the greatest video games of all time. Again, it's got an overwhelmingly positive reception, 97% positive across 53,000 reviews, and a single playthrough isn't going to be that long, although like RE4, if you take your time, you do all the side activities and whatnot, you can get a solid 18 hours out of the game. And then it's one of those games, much like in MGS3, I'll go back and play through that game over and over again. But yeah, RE4 is tremendous. Kingdom Come Deliverance, 50% off for $29.99. Historic low on this. The Royal Edition is $39.99 if you want all of the DLC content. Great game. You just kind of got to know what you're getting yourself into, in the sense that it's a game that really doesn't hold your hand all that much. There's a lot of depth to the gameplay. The combat isn't my favorite, but narratively and from a world design standpoint, I think the game is outstanding. So $29.99 on that, pretty good. And then Hi-Fi Rush is $17.99. That deal will be available for another day. Hi-Fi Rush is outstanding, highly recommended. And I imagine the deal will come back up when the winter sale officially starts. But a fantastic, fantastic game. Thank you, Krafton, for making sure that this game survived. But yeah, just an excellent action, music rhythm title. Soundtrack is phenomenal, and the characters are so likable. Chai and 808, I just think as far as tandems go in gaming, I love them as a tandem, and that's always been something that I loved in gaming. Like tandems, Ratchet and Clank, Jack and Daxter, Chai and 808, throw them on there as well. Hi-Fi Rush is just a great game, and the single playthrough is pretty fairly short in the sense that it's 8 to 9 hours, but then there's a lot of post-game content that you could delve into as well. So worthwhile game there, definitely recommend that. But that is going to do it for me. Again, that deal on Ace Combat 7 is absolutely awesome. Check that out. The Mega Man 11 deal, quite good there as well. Links to everything as always in the description box below. That'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate it if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.